Today on Fat Man on Batman.
We actually talk about Batman.
Isn't this going to be novel today? Right here on Fat Man on Batman. Welcome to Fat Man on Batman. I'm Kevin Smith.
I'm Marc Bernardin.
And how are you, Mark?
I'm doing well, sir. How's your New Year's?
It's like we didn't see each other before this. We waited. We sat in silence the whole time until finally the camera turned on.
I'm method. Like, how are you? Don't talk to me.
Totally. He's like, I'm getting in character. I need it quiet. In order to play Marc Bernardin, I can't fuck around
I
before
can't just
that.
like be all jolly about it. Just bring it in.
We're here, dude. 2017.
Yes.
We made it. Woo!
The end of days.
It's begun. But you know what? Fuck all that. We're here to fiddle as Rome burns, man. We're here to talk about the things that make living worthwhile. Fuck everything else. Batman. There you go. And in that spirit of that, they just announced, well, they announced a little while ago, back in November, I think, that I'm directing an episode of the insanely funny ABC sitcom, The Goldbergs.
Yee, Goldbergs.
Lucky me. So I'm going to direct an episode. They just announced today what that episode is about.
Tell me.
The Goldbergs, for those that may not watch the show, set in the 80s, and they go across the 80s. They're never very specific. Or
It's not chronological. It's just they
no, it's
ping
not
pong
like now we're
whatever.
doing 84. They ping pong all around, and so they'll say like the year was 1980 something. You know, just kind of fast and loose with it. But our episode, or the episode I get to direct, is about the opening of Batman, Michael Keaton's Batman.
So they called you. Clearly.
Matt Myra, who I do Talk Salad and Scrambled Eggs podcast with,
It's
which,
good, man.
yes, it still exists. People are like, you haven't done it in a year. It still fucking exists. He works on the show, and he was like, do you want to direct an episode? And I was like, yeah. And so we didn't know what it was going to be. Turns out it's this.
That makes sense.
Couldn't be more perfect, man. I'm telling you, like it's so far, like with directing a Flash or two Flashes and a Supergirl, which airs in 2 weeks or 3 weeks on CW, January 23rd, I think, when everything comes back. And now Goldbergs, that's about Batman. I'm just getting lucky, man. It's like they're just pitching him. They're underhand pitching at this point, dude.
What would you like to hit, Batman?
Thank fucking God. I sat down and talked to Adam Goldberg, a wonderful fucking dude, who's got like an office to die for with like trinkets of all sorts. Very, very much one of us. But the episode, the script is wonderful. I want to give the dude credit. I don't know everybody's name, you know, because I just started working there. But the script is fucking hysterical. And like, you know, when you're a writer, when you try to write comedy for a living, you know, you can definitely read something and be like, that's very humorous, or that's funny. I can see as that's going to play well without like laughing though. But there were like 4 times during the script where I like literally laughed out loud. And I'm not saying like, I'm a tough fucking guy to please, but you know, it's much harder to make somebody laugh if they're like, well, I'm in the business of funny and shit. And there were 4 or 5 moments where I fucking literally LOL'd, as they say. Andrew Secunda, that's who wrote my script. Episode 417, it's called The Dynamic Duo.
Nice.
Pops, just to give you a preview, Pops, played by George Segal, he is a Adam West Batman guy. And of course, young Adam and Barry are Michael Keaton Batman guys.
I sense a rift in the force.
Yes, a little bit. But oh my God, this show, like fucking, like not only did I laugh out loud 4 or 5 times, no bullshit. And then everyone's going to be like, you're a stoner, you cry at everything. But I don't give a fuck. I cried reading this episode. It's really fucking beautiful.
Is
like,
it? Oh, that's
they
awesome.
do a nice thing over there where they fucking like do legit funny like fucking shit. And then they like wrap it up with like, give me your heart. Now go away. Like Dirty Wonder Years is what it kind of is. Like it's a wonderful show. All the fuckers in it are so fucking funny, talented, and the fuckers behind the camera are just as talented. Dude, the script is fucking dynamite. And again, like I'm gonna get credit. People are gonna be, oh, he directed a fine episode. I'm watching. Like I met everybody and like we toured and stuff like that, the sets, and we location scouted. these folks know exactly what they're doing. It's not like, I'm bringing a vision. Like, I'm getting paid to watch them make the Goldbergs for a week. So I'm going to take that money and put my name on the show. It's going to be amazing.
Best seat in the house.
Oh, my God. Fucking, like, everything's coming up Millhouse. Movies. Why did I try so hard? TV. Anyway. So that's happening, man. I'm shooting it. We start on Monday. And so I don't know when it airs, in a couple months, I guess. Like that. I guess we're not that far behind. But believe me, I'll fucking let you know when it's about to air. Supergirl's about to air. My Supergirl, January 23rd. But on the subject of Batman,
Yes.
I'm telling you, dude, that script is good. Like, it's really touching, really funny, and then really touching. And you know, that's like, it couldn't be more in my fucking sweet spot.
Well, I mean, that's the thing.
Game's
about,
on my stick. I could only choke a dick on this one. Choke on a dick on this one.
I mean, we talked about our experiences as youths going to see Batman. And
The two Utes.
The two youths. And like everybody's story around that movie usually takes place when they're in high school, kind of cresting into adulthood. And those stories have this poignancy to them. They have there's this nugget of like, I'm just becoming a man, ditching people to go see Batman. And some midnight show at some mall somewhere, thereupon hangs a tale. And that tale can
They're
have.
telling that. Excellent. Beautifully put. What, are you trying to get a job on this fucking show?
Hi!
There you go. There's
How are you?
There's a writer right there.
Are there any black people in your 1980s?
Yeah, I'm sure they watch the Cosby Show. Tim Meadows is in my episode.
Shut the fuck up!
He's very happy about that. I'm an SNL guy, deep cuts SNL guy. So he's fucking hysterical, that guy.
He's really good on Son of Zorn. Have you been watching the Son of Zorn?
No, how is that?
It's hit and miss. Like the concept is kind of interesting, but you know, it's any sitcom has its highs and its lows.
Right.
But he's always really strong.
He's the player to be named later,
Absolutely.
man. He's Bull Durham of SNL. You know what I'm saying? Like, he broke his records off the show, so to speak. But he was like the Phil Hartman of that show for a while, or the who's the kid now who's been on for like 50 years?
Oh, Keenan Thompson.
Tim was there for like.
Yeah, like 10 years.
Yeah,
like spanning like through the Hartmans and the Farleys and all of that stuff. There's
the glue.
The glue. There's the ladies' man.
The ladies' man himself. All right, so that's going to be a blast. Let's talk about Batman and other news.
Actual Batman and other news.
Now, they're making this Justice League picture, which we're all fucking excited about.
Correct.
They announced a couple years back, hey, y'all like the guy that made Argo, right? He's going to make a fucking Batman movie. And the world went ape shit.
Yeah, I remember
just the fucking thought of a Ben Affleck. The guy who made The Town is going to make Batman? Whose dick do I gotta suck to make it happen? They were like, it's happening. You don't have to do that at all. Just give us your money when it's done.
Yeah, I remember at Comic-Con last year, they announced, like, here are the directors of our DC universe. They brought out Patty Jenkins. They brought out Rick Famuyiwa, who is now not a director in the DC universe. He was on The Flash. They brought out, and they brought out Ben. And they brought out Zach. And they're like, here are our directors. He's doing a Batman movie. Standalone Batman movie, written with Jeff Johns, called The Batman.
The Batman. Which, you know, had, you were the chosen one, Anakin. Like, all of it just seemed like it would bring balance to the Force. Recently, I guess he gave an interview.
Yeah, he did an interview for the LA Times.
And how do you know this, Mark? You read the LA Times from time to time?
I read it every day because I'm the film editor for the LA Times.
Bang, give him a single. Say that again.
Film editor for the LA Times.
Back to the two-shot.
Hey.
Legit. Right there.
Legit.
All right, so what happened?
So yeah, Josh Rottenberg, one of our writers, spent like an afternoon with Ben talking about his new movie, Live by Night, talking about Justice League, talking about it was a year in Affleck. And because he's had a year.
It was a year without a Ben Affleck. All right.
And so he mentioned, we talked about The Batman. And he said, well, you know, I will direct it if the script is right. But if the script is not right, I'm not going to shoot this movie.
Hold the fucking phone. Give him a single.
If the script ain't right, we don't fight.
Well, back to two-shot. Paraphrasing. It sounded way better as a soundbite.
I was Don Kinging that a little bit.
So wait a second. Really? So now there's a whiff of...
I mean...
There's been for about a year a whiff of like, well, the script's not right yet, so...
No, is it going to happen? It's probably going to happen. Maybe going to happen. But
they got a date.
They got a date.
2018, I believe. They've announced their release dates. That means they need to be shooting, Wednesday.
Pretty much. I mean, to their credit, though, like, I would rather them not make a movie than rush into making a shitty one.
Duh. And I don't think they're going to do that. I think they've already taken a few fucking hits over BVS, which was not a shitty movie, but, like, you know, like, people were like, where's your Marvel? And then Suicide Squad, they made a bunch of loot, but people were like, still, where's your Marvel? So, you know, looking like Justice League and Wonder Woman going to deliver a kind of more well-balanced comic book movie like everybody seems to be looking for out of these DC movies. But the Batman was going to be like, you can't.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? The motherfucker made I'm going to say it again, The Town, Argo. I'm going to go even further back. Gone, Baby Gone, which is an amazing fucking movie. That guy is going to make The Batman.
With Deathstroke as the bad guy.
That was the only part that I was kind of like, eh.
See, I don't know. I buy that.
Yeah. I mean, I like the clip they put online, and, like, he looked badass, but it's just like, I don't know. Like,
well, it's very much
there's a well of, bless you, of villains that, you know.
There are, but in the sort of Iron Man mold of, I have to fight myself all the time. It's the find me another dude in armor, find me another rich guy who's got money to spend on his mad quest for whatever. Then it's
find an eye patch, and it also gives you a chance to let Batman sword fight, something they haven't really done in the movies. All right, but you sold me. Well done.
See, doing your job for you, Warner Brothers.
Jeez.
Selling the people one by one.
Where is this fucking movie? So that movie, the big question is, where is this fucking movie? And now the answer is he's saying, maybe I won't.
Yeah, it's like if the script ain't right, and again, he's writing it with Jeff Johns, I'm sure at some point.
So who interviewed him?
Josh Rottenberg.
So did Josh turn around and be like, well, make it right?
write it up.
You're in
write it
of that.
right, boy.
Yeah, write it right. You're a writer.
Write it right, writer boy.
You won an Oscar for writing.
He did. He's got skills behind the keys.
I hope the fuck he does it. Are you kidding me, man? Like, could you imagine you take that kind of talent, the talent that gave us, I'm going to say it again, give me a single. Argo. Back to the two-shot.
Argo, fuck yourself.
Argo, fuck yourself. This picture, it's a fine motion picture. Imagine that filmmaker, MILF maker, that filmmaker is making the Batman.
Yeah. But I think, he did get kind of beaten up because of Batman v Superman. Like
that's what I'm thinking, man. Like, in a world, I say this with fucking, let's make this clear, give me a single. I haven't spoken to Ben Affleck in probably 3 years. So I got no inside dope on this. Back to the two-shot. This is not coming to like his buddy. We ain't brothers, we ain't partners, we ain't friends. It's like 48 hours.
Put you down, I'm kicking you down.
I think he'd be a hard time pulling me out. Regardless, I'm not saying we're fighting or anything. I'm just saying, like, I ain't talked to this dude in fucking years. So I'm just spitting at what are they?
Spitballing?
There you go. I'm just spitting at balls.
Spit it.
Quit spitting on my balls. Put my dick in your mouth. I hear that so often. If I had a nickel for every time I heard that. Oh, my God. I'd be Bruce Wayne or Ben Affleck rich. Here's my, if I had to guess, maybe it's like, remember when George Lucas made the prequels? Mm-hmm. After fucking decades of everybody being like, this guy ain't made a movie since fucking Star Wars, make more Star Wars. And then they did, they were like, stop it.
You're the worst at this.
He gave an interview, I think it was the New York Times, where, they were like, you gonna do it again? He's like, why bother?
Yeah.
Like everybody just fucking yells at you and tells you you're doing it wrong. You step up, you see the expectation right here, single camera again, the maker of Argo, back to the two-shot. There's a level of expectation for that. Mm-hmm. That movie about Batman has to be the greatest movie about Batman ever made. If it's me, do I want that kind of pressure in my life?
I mean, if you're making a Batman movie, you have to make it fearless. You have to just dive in and fucking do it.
You also have to have something to lose.
Yeah.
Or no, nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose.
That's it, my bad. The opposite.
Of something.
Yes. You got to have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
And he's got a lot to lose.
So, if he made...
in terms of people he made Argo and shit, Live by Night's coming out and stuff. He's considered a very serious filmmaker. So even if he makes, a film that Cine East are oh my God, this reinvents Batman. If it doesn't please the fans, they'll take him down. They'll take the whole movie down.
Like, I feel like if it was Man of Steel, then the Batman.
Yeah.
So Ben gets to make his, like, untinged by reality, unbeaten by the winds of fan disdain. Then that's a brave filmmaker. That's a dude who's got nothing to lose. That's a dude who's like, I want to make my movie. Make my fucking movie. After BVS, after the Sound of Silence, when...
Video. Yeah, he seemed to be, again, no contact, but he seemed to be affected by...
Yeah, like he's a little gun shy. And, you know, to a certain degree, I get it. But
it seemed like, and I think he gave an interview where he was just like I thought
we made a good movie.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know, maybe he's like, up is down, black is white. I can't, why enter into that tender trap?
Right.
I hope not, because you got Jeff Johns, you got the talent behind Single, Argo, back to the two-shot. That's, you got a movie. I don't give a fuck if it's the greatest Batman movie or not. You got a movie right there.
Right.
Do it. Do it! Just like Shia LaBeouf. Do it. There you go. Yeah, man, that's a missed opportunity. I hope he doesn't. I hope that's not.
Yeah, or like, I hope they crack it.
But at the same time, also, like, some people be like, oh, yeah, you want to make a fucking bad Batman movie? No, you're right. If you don't want to make it, I'm not fucking pressuring him, but, like, I hope if he walks away from it, it's for the right reasons. And if the right reason is I can't get the script right, then that's fine, too.
That's fair. I would much rather, like we said, have not a bad Batman movie than a bad Batman movie.
Really?
I would.
Because we've survived bad Batman movies.
We have, but I would be perfectly happy if they took Batman and Robin away.
and took them where, exactly?
Just, I don't know, the woodshed.
The woodshed.
Take him out back, put him out of his misery.
Stop hitting us.
It's just the worst.
I hope he does it, man. And I not the least of which because I'm a selfish little fucking Batman cuck. And so I want as much as possible all over me. But that would mean if he doesn't start this year, then they're not going to hit that 2018 date.
No.
So do they at that point go, hey, we need a Batman movie, so we're going to make one, you can make the next one?
Or it's like, then you slide in Gotham City Sirens. So that's when you slot in like Cyborg a little bit earlier. Like they've got enough pieces because they got to slot something in to fill the Flash slot, which is now vacant still. Did they hire somebody for that? No, they did. They hired the, no, they didn't.
No, they're still
Flash
out.
is still open. Come on, guys. You got dates.
Poor
to
little
hit.
Ezra Miller's just sitting there going like, I'm waiting to run.
I got
I'm
this
stretched
armor.
and everything.
I'm dieting.
Yeah, that's right. They don't have that director yet either.
They don't have a cyborg director, I don't think. Or do they? Did I miss them having a cyborg director?
I don't think so.
Like, that's the back half of that
I was
catalog.
going to say, like, what do we
flux.
fucking know? Why are we speculating? But isn't that what they do in fantasy sports? Isn't that what fantasy
Pretty
sports
much.
is?
Yeah. Like
So this is like fantasy studio fucking running and shit.
Yeah. If I owned a Warner Brothers and I had these pieces, here's who I start the day of the game. And they don't seem to be starting anybody the day of the game.
I like it. That would make me play fantasy football. If it was all about movies and not football at all.
Do you remember that thing? It was in the mid-'90s, I think. The Hollywood Stock Exchange.
Yeah, the HSX.
X. Yeah, where you just
They had a building on fucking like Santa Monica Boulevard.
How did they make money? I don't
know.
I don't know how.
I didn't understand their model, but I was always sad that our fucking stock wasn't more. It would be high like when they announced a movie, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, but then it would come down.
Yeah. Which you would think would have supposed to have been some kind of predictive model for how things will do with the audience, but it never did. Because
it was just literally what the stock market is. Like,
Yeah.
let's just bet on futures.
Totally. And it was just like 1,000 guys like us doing it. Not the world at large, so you couldn't pull any real data off of it. It was just, I'm going to buy Terminator 2. Okay, you can buy Terminator 2.
And for a while they would report about it too, like, their Hollywood Stock Exchange value is
Schwarzenegger's on the rise.
kind of crazy. The good old fucking late 90s aughts.
Yeah, the tech boom. Wasn't that
Before the bust.
great?
And then it came back. Except for that. That never came back.
Nope.
Some shit just does not come back. And that's the lesson here today. Terrible segue. Of course, we lost Carrie Fisher.
We did.
Mark. And I've spoken about it on Smodcast and on Hollywood Babylon podcast and stuff. Obviously, big deal, for all of us who grew up watching those movies. HBO has that documentary, Bright Lights.
Yeah.
they've moved up. It's supposed
to like Saturday, 7th of January.
As happening this weekend. It was supposed to be happening in the spring, but in light of both Carrie and her mom passing away, they moved it up to now. The trailer is up online.
I mean, it had been playing festivals, like it had been done.
To go to Cannes, or I forget where it
went to Cannes. It just played the Palm Springs Film Festival in the desert. There had been talk that Carrie was going to go to New York and work on it a little bit more, like maybe add another chapter to it. But I don't think that ever happened.
No. So if you pop on YouTube now, you can see the trailer. It's fucking wonderful. But it airs like the trailer. You can watch the whole damn thing if you got HBO apparently this weekend.
By the time you see this, you can see that.
So you want to honor your princess, and you do. That's a fine way to do it this weekend. The trailer is like wonderful. Instantly makes you go like, oh, I wish Debbie Reynolds was my mom. They make the mom and daughter dynamic. They make him like I'm a dude, so I'm like, oh, I wish I was my mom's daughter. Like it makes it look very appealing and stuff. And there's lots of young footage of Carrie.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy. I was watching the trailer and they've got like pre-Star Wars footage of Carrie.
I mean, when we were putting together our tributes and stuff for the paper, like we had been covering her since she was a fetus. Like it was Debbie Reynolds pregnant with her first child. Like Debbie Reynolds, Eddie Fisher, like split up, and there's like 4-year-old Carrie in the corner. Like just, she had been famous since before she was born.
That's nuts.
Yeah, and like all of that stuff is out there. All of that footage, all of that like archival photography. It's just, and it's beautiful stuff.
And she was in Shampoo, right?
Yeah, I think that was her
Before
first thing.
Star Wars, yeah. So you could see young
At that point,
Carrie
like what,
Fisher there.
15, 16 years old?
Yeah. Wow, you're right, man. I hadn't thought about that. She'd been covered since before she was uncovered.
Yeah.
For the first time.
Yeah. Which I can't imagine.
Big loss. And it still tops the news over a week later.
Yeah. I saw Rogue One a third time, like after she had passed.
So good.
And then just that last scene has a totally different, like, you vibe differently than you did before. It's like, oh, that's awesome. It's fucking Princess Leia, yay, Hope. And then it's, oh, Jesus, Hope. Carrie Fisher.
Yeah, I watched it again at home on my Oscar screener. And maybe the first time I saw it, be like, well, her teeth don't look as real. Like, maybe they shouldn't have shown her face, blah, blah, blah. Then after watching it after Carrie passed, it feels like it certainly wasn't intended to be such, but it's almost a very sweet memorial. Watching those movies back to back was a real trip, particularly like right after hearing about her passing. Like that's my wife was never going to watch Rogue One, and that's how I got her to watch Rogue One, and she loved it.
Yeah,
she was like, "Now let's watch Star Wars." I was like, "Who are you?
Where have you been all
my
life?"
Oh my God! Fuck these movies. I'm gonna take my pants off. This is amazing. So we watched them back to back, and it's weird. Like when you think about, like I saw somebody's whole career. I was a big fan of her work. I've talked about many places, and I knew her as well a little bit in the real world. But weird to think that I saw her whole career.
Yeah.
And not just the one career in movies, but the script doctoring career, the book writing career, the raconteur career. One thing we didn't really see was, did she ever direct?
I don't believe she did. I
wonder why not. It's so weird. She grew up on set, so she probably had an eye for it. She directed her life. She made a masterpiece. And sadly now she's gone.
Indeed.
But to honor her, go watch Bright Lights is the documentary on HBO this weekend. It really looks like worth your time. It looks like the kind of thing at the end of which you're going to go like, Mom, I love you. You're going to call your mother. So,
why didn't we have that relationship?
Yeah.
/ Mom, I'm kind of glad we didn't have that relationship.
Mom, why weren't you and Dad rich and famous? It looks pretty fabulous. So that's a great way to keep her. Look, you can't stop people from dying. It's the natural way of life, unfortunately. They try and they can't figure out how to stop this dying stuff from happening. The way to keep them alive, like in those movies, whatnot, like how Qui-Gon can come back, as a Force ghost, and how Ben Kenobi can come back as a Force ghost. In our world, we don't have Force ghosts in this world, as far as I know, but what we do have is chit-chat. And keeping a memory alive. So you talk about a person and they're gone, but It's like they're there for that minute or two. You keep that memory alive. That's the force that bonds us, flows through us, whatever.
And for some, we still have their lovely holograms to tell us that they're our only hope.
Over and over again. General Kenobi. Many
served
years
my
ago,
father.
you served my father. In the Clone Wars. Did he? Is that what she says? You served
Yeah.
my father? So Ben Kenobi worked for Bail Organa?
Well, I think
Served? It's like, hey, man.
Would you like me to scrub your dick for you, sir?
You think Ben Kenobi watched that and was like, fuck you, served. Like, I fought side by side. Is that what he said? Served?
He's a senator. I'm a general. Who fucking serves who?
Fucking Jedi. I served nobody but myself in the Jedi.
I brought him a kid one time. That's not serving somebody.
One time. That's service?
Not two kids. One kid.
You know what? I'm glad he's gone. I know it's scandalous to say, but I'm on a desert planet. Fuck him. I'm glad he's gone.
Yeah,
If
he
he's
knew
out
where
there
I
telling
was.
people I was a servant.
He knew what? He could have come and found me any fucking time he wanted to. Bring me something cool to drink on this fucking desert hellhole.
And cut. George, you might want to lose these scenes.
Why? I think they're kind of smart. This is the soul of the movie. Faster, more intense. This is why I did it. If this scene's not in it, fuck the rest. The rest is just dogs flying spaceships and robots. This is the heart. He's mad at Bail Organa.
the Kermit off that becomes George Lucas talking to himself.
I like to think of Star Wars as like something he didn't really try to make intentionally. It just happened because he cut out all the shit that he really liked.
I really couldn't get that right, so I fucking did it. I thought the whole thing was about a pissed off old man in the desert. That to me was interesting. Get off my sand lawn! It's kind of like the straight story, but in space.
There it is. Thanks for hanging out with us here on. That's how you keep people alive. You laugh.
Indeed.
Joy. It's going to be a great 2017. Don't be scared.
No.
In the face of fear, make something. Create something. You know what fear is? Something bad's going to happen. Things will end. Fear is change. You know, it's just like there's trepidation about things happening differently and stuff. Don't fear change. Embrace change by creating change yourself. Make change. And I'm not saying go out and change the world. I'm saying make some shit. Make a piece of art. Make a podcast like us. Make a YouTube show. Make someone pregnant, but ask them first. Make money.
Please ask them first.
Yeah, make sure you ask them. Make love. Make a lot of things. Just make this year. That'll make you feel better. Trust me. Creating shit makes everything just a little bit better. Don't give a fuck what it is. You make a piece of pottery and some fucker comes behind you and rubs your titties like in Ghost. It's happened to me just recently. Motherfucker grabbed my titties. I was like, oh.
I still have that mug.
Do you?
The one, your titty rubbing mug. Thank you. Clink.
My Marc, my Bernardin,
I hunger for your touch. Remember that movie made so much fucking money?
Oh, God.
And it was like people would not stop talking about it.
That was one of the movies that played for a year.
You would think it was going to live, like Star Wars, it would just live forever. And now, nobody talks about Ghost anymore.
No, they should. It's a good movie.
Good fucking flick. Go back and watch it. What was his name? Joe, who wrote it? Joe Don Baker? No, that was the other. He had three names. No, Bruce Joel Rubin.
Yeah.
Wonderful fucking script.
Yeah.
He also wrote Jacob's Ladder.
Ooh.
Remember that?
He had a good baby run there.
Yeah, oh, you ain't kidding. And he also did a movie, the Michael Keaton movie, My Life, which is like so sad.
Isn't it already videotapes himself because he's got cancer?
Because he's, oh my, don't, I'll start crying. I saw that with my father.
Oh, God.
And he didn't have cancer, he wasn't dying or anything, but like, it's a movie about mortality that I watched with my father at that point, was in his like late 50s or something like that. Oh, what an emotional fucking train ride that movie. Him and Nicole Kidman.
All
It's
right.
good. Yeah, it's a touching fucking movie. But yeah, make it a Bruce Joel Rubin threesome recently, man. You watch yourself a little Ghost, Jacob's Ladder, and My Life. I think he did something else we're forgetting too.
He might have, but I can't for the life of me remember what.
Is he alive? I think he passed away.
He passed away like
Passed away.
7 or 8 years ago. But yeah, Ghost is what
I
Whoopi.
really cut to. He's alive, you assholes. He's working.
right here.
He's working on bones. It's like, oh, I had no idea.
I'm
Yeah,
alive,
I think
just
he did.
dead inside, because I'm working on bones
Saved
for
it.
9 years.
I think he did pass away.
I think so too.
Great movies though.
Yeah, good dude.
All right, there it is, man. That's a bunch of recommendations, man.
Yeah, go do it.
Wasn't the intention, but that's where we wound
we
up.
got there.
All right, man. That's it for this week. I'm Fat Man Batman. I'm Kevin Smith.
I'm Marc Bernardin.
Come back next episode. Same fat time, same fat channel, smartguest.com or
YouTube.com/Kevin Smith.